All right, guys. So our last segment here today is going to be a little different. It's not necessarily. I mean, it's on topic, but it's not something we typically cover because it's kind of unsubstantiated rumors to some degree. So we're simply going to be calling this segment "The Rumor Mill" with Rob and Rick. So here, what we're going to do, Rick, is we're going to take a look at. There's three rumors in particular that I think are kind of worth talking about just because of this the interesting ramifications they would have were they to be true. So again, before we get into these guys, these are uh, essentially unsubstantiated rumors. They're not coming out from major trades. There's been no confirmation from people associated with like a studio or something has not came out and confirmed anything like this. These are like rumors or scoops, quote unquote, that some sites are reporting on. And a couple of them, they're just kind of interesting here. So the first one here we're going to get into, Rick, is an interesting one. Supposedly, Ryan Reynolds is set to return as Green Lantern in the Snyder Cut. Again, as you can clearly tell, this is unsubstantiated rumors, okay? But I did feel like there were some interesting things to kind of talk about with we're just going to speculate. If this were to be true, the pros and cons essentially. That's what we're going to do with this segment from this stuff. Cuz it's always fun to do. Speculation's fun. So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to get into the article and we're going to break it down. So apparently this is coming from Grace Randolph, who she is a YouTuber as well. She has some sources that she has broken scoops before, so she's not complete. When I say unsubstantiated, I'm not saying they're coming from completely unreliable sources that you shouldn't trust at all. It's not what I'm saying. When I say unsubstantiated, I am meaning there is no confirmation from, like I said, like a studio head or Ryan Reynolds or anybody that can actually confirm the story is what I'm getting at. So like someone saying that their sources who they cannot mention are saying something, that's unsubstantiated. I don't know why that is so hard to say.
It's not easy.
No. So Ryan Reynolds returning as Green Lantern in the Snyder Cut. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. So they say that now I've heard it from a second source. It seems the word is indeed getting out, and so I can confirm the Snyder Cut cameo I've been teasing is indeed Ryan Reynolds for Green Lantern. I'm I'm hearing WB is working on putting the deal together now to make it official, says Randolph on Tuesday. Okay, so
That's interesting.
it is interesting, and let me say this first. This isn't the craziest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life by any means.
No.
Like if this were to happen, I wouldn't really think it's like all that far fetched by any means. Like there's been definitely some crazier rumors that have come out here. Uh I mean, even in regards to the Snyder Cut, there's been crazy rumors that were way before it even got announced that it was going to happen. So I guess I would say I would not be opposed to this happening. Let's say it's true. Let's say it's true. I'd be fine with it. Although it is kind of contradictory on some level because they're supposedly making the Green Lantern series for HBO on
Yeah.
HBO Max. Now, there's been no real confirmation or any big news about where that show's at, and if it's even going to feature Hal Jordan or what. So I mean, who knows if they're going to focus on Jon Stewart and there's not going to be a Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern show on HBO, then I mean, there's no problem with bringing him back for that.
Yeah.
Not that there'd be a problem with bringing back anyway, but it's like you don't want to have two different Hal Jordans. It doesn't make any sense.
Let me just say too, for the record, to me, it's absolutely shocking to hear that Ryan Reynolds would even want to come back as Green Lantern after all the shade he's basically thrown at it.
I was gonna get into that too. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No. Go.
No, I mean that's just they made nods to it in Deadpool. They've done so much with this where Ryan Reynolds was obviously very not happy with the Green Lantern movie, and it just surprises me that he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm on board for that."
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. because this is what I thought. I thought the same exact thing. Like, why would if I'm Ryan Reynolds and I've thrown so much shit, even inside of Deadpool and outside of Deadpool, he has obviously made lights of the experience he had
Yeah.
in the Green Lantern movie about how the animated suit bit and Deadpool itself, him killing himself, or like him going at the end of Deadpool 2 when he time travels back and the end credit scene and kills Ryan Reynolds as he's reading the script of Green Lantern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's definitely poked fun and made light of that movie. And like I'll that being said, that movie isn't all bad. Okay. He was good in the movie. It was mainly the execution of Parallax and everything that was
Yeah.
kinda, like, just not good, right? So, like, I would be totally fine with him coming back and playing Hal Jordan again, and especially the OA stuff and all the green like, the training stuff, and, like, we talked about this before, like, Sinestro, like, all that shit was great in the movie. Like, the movie itself as a whole, no, but, like, there were good bits in it, enough to say, like, it's not a dumpster fire of a movie, but
No.
it's like, I wouldn't say it's on the same level. It really reminds me of the Josh Trank Fantastic Four movie, in all honesty, because it's like for the first half-ish of that Fantastic Four movie, it's a decent movie, and then it falls apart to the end. And the Green Lantern movie is kind of the same way. So, like, if I'm Ryan Reynolds and if Warner Brothers asks me if I want to come back for a cameo of how to be Hal Jordan again in the Snyder Cut of all things,
Yeah.
I don't really see, why would I wanna do that? You know what I mean? Why would I wanna why like, Ryan Reynolds has enough stuff going on with, like, they're gonna be getting Deadpool 3 into production here at some point. Like, I mean, I could see him doing a cameo. Like, so, I mean, I could see him doing a cameo because it wouldn't take a lot of time.
I feel like it'd almost be a campy cameo though. Like he would I don't know.
Well, the main thing I have with it that really doesn't really sit well with me into buying this is the fact that it's for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yes, were rumors and, like, Kevin Smith,
I remember
most
you saying that.
notably, yeah, like, he said that, on set when Superman came in and, like and, Justice League or whatever, that whole scene where he's talking to Alfred was, quote, unquote, "supposed to be Green Lantern." Okay, but it doesn't make sense for the Snyder Cut. Like, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Where do you throw in Green Lantern? Because if you're talking about literally having to shoot, like, scenes with him fighting, like, Steppenwolf with everybody else at that point.
Yeah.
Like, because otherwise, what's the point of having Green Lantern do a cameo of Hal Jordan, of this Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds, Hal Jordan? What is the point of bringing him into the Snyder Cut? Because he ain't gonna be, like, a major character.
Yeah.
It'd be super pointless to have him come back and shoot a cameo, and then what's he gonna do in the cameo? What purpose is it gonna serve in the Snyder Cut? It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It makes more sense for Flashpoint. If it was gonna be if he was gonna make a small cameo appearance as Hal Jordan, one, you could do that in the Flashpoint movie and just have it be a one-off thing where the Flash is running through time and ends up in this world, in the
Yeah.
Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Ryan Reynolds world, and it could be a one-off jokey scene. There it is, right? That would make sense, and then you wouldn't have to worry about continuity with the HBO Max show, and you would and whatever. If they actually have plans for bringing Green Lantern into the DCEU in some capacity, you wouldn't be contradicting your Hal Jordan casting at that point. So because you could just say it's a one-off thing that's only occurring in Flashpoint, just a jokey scene. So I could see that's more feasible to me. If this article came out saying that he was going to be doing a Flashpoint cameo, I'd buy that a bit more. All right.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It's like, you know what I mean? But if we're gonna take all that stuff out of it, the logical, stuff out of it, right? Because like I said, doesn't make sense for Snyder Cut, makes more sense for Flashpoint. So that's just basic logic. But if we take that out of it and just think about if you're Ryan Reynolds, what's gonna entice you to come back as Green Lantern of the character that you've made so much fun of,
I
essentially?
just don't see him doing that. Like,
You don't see him doing it at all?
I just I don't no, I really don't. I
Well,
mean,
what I would say is what it comes down to, and it's kinda like what I touched on earlier, is like the actors wanna act, right? They wanna have a story that is actually compelling. They don't
yeah.
wanna, like Ryan Reynolds coming back for a small cameo isn't he's
If it was a small cameo, I guess it'd be
but, I mean,
fine.
aside from a paycheck, though, he doesn't get anything out of that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
If anything,
appeasing fans, but no one's clamoring to see that. No one's clamoring to see his return as Hal Jordan.
no.
Like, he's already beloved as Deadpool, and he already has, um what else? That new movie coming out with Taika Waititi, the Guy thing, just some
Uh,
Free Guy,
yeah.
you know, where he plays the NPC essentially in a video game where, like, he's got Ryan Reynolds is a busy guy. Like, he doesn't need to come back and play a character like Hal Jordan, you know, like, no one's clamoring for it. So, like, that's honestly, another thing that, like, kinda goes against this rumor, in my opinion. But, just to play devil's advocate, let's say WB and and Ryan have had talks to come back as Green Lantern, just in general, just for him to actually, like, let's say just make more Green Lantern movies again, or even be in the show, whatever you wanna be.
Yeah.
The only way I could see that happening is if Warner Brothers gave him creative control in some capacity. And
I could see that.
I don't say that just because, like, he deserves it or, like, he, you know, whatever. Because, well, here's the thing. He proved with Deadpool. You remember X-Men Wolverine?
Yeah.
X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Oh, I remember that.
Where
Yeah.
he played Deadpool,
I do.
but that movie did not feature Deadpool in any way?
No,
Like,
it
not
was
what
definitely
Deadpool
not
really is?
Deadpool
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Deadpool in that movie was not Deadpool.
No, not at all.
He got Deadpool made because of him. Like, he got that movie made. He leaked the thing, the test footage.
I
Like,
remember
he
that.
leaked
It was
it.
leaked
You
out.
know,
Yeah.
it just happened to get out, right?
It looked amazing.
And that's the thing. Like, he put his blood, sweat, and tears into doing that because he's been very vocal about this. He did the X-Men Orange Wolverine, and he knows it was garbage. He didn't like where they were doing with the character. And he had a chance to do what he thought was justice to a character that he loves, right? He loved the Deadpool character. Damn it, he made it come to life, right?
Oh, for sure.
So for that same reasoning and concept, if he has as much, let's assume he has as much love and care, Jesus, sorry, for the Hal Jordan character. That's the kind of person you would want to have creative control over the property with. That's someone like you don't want to just give every actor just like you do whatever you want. Like normally
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that should never be done. Like you let your director is supposed to direct that's their creative vision, right? But we wouldn't have the Deadpool that we have right now without Ryan Reynolds. Like it wouldn't have happened. And we wouldn't have it without Fox, honestly.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of why Deadpool 3's been kind of up in limbo ever since Disney acquired Fox because I don't know about you, but I haven't seen any R-rated MCU movies.
No.
So then like that's kind of
Definitely doesn't seem like something Disney would be very
yeah.
into.
So I mean that's kind of why it's like I said in limbo right now because there's obviously benefits of Deadpool being in the MCU, but Deadpool existing by himself as an R-rated, satire essentially has obviously had its own benefits. So, but point being, I could see Ryan coming back as Hal Jordan if WB were to say like you do it, man.
Yeah,
Like
you
we
do
want
you.
you to do it, and we want do what you did for Deadpool, but do it for Green Lantern.
I mean, it worked for Deadpool.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and if Ryan Reynolds, like, I don't know how much he loves and cares about Hal Jordan as much as he does Deadpool, but let's assume for a minute he does. Then I would be on board with that because I think he's proven himself with the whole Deadpool situation that he's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing, and like if he gets his writing team involved and and him in the studio were to hash something out to where like you do your thing, you give us the same quality Deadpool experience with Hal Jordan, then yes, I could see it happening, and I would see him being a lot more inclined to come back to it because it's not often that you get a lot of chance for like a do-over,
Yeah.
especially in Hollywood. Like you don't
Take a mulligan, yeah.
yeah, you don't get that chance in a Hollywood situation, like especially for an actor. And it's a little bit different of a situation just because, like I said, with the Deadpool thing, it kind of gives him a little bit more weight in this situation because it is kind of related because it's a comic book thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I was Warner Brothers and Ryan Reynolds, let's say Ryan Reynolds had a vision for it, and he pitched them a great story to do like another installment of Green Lantern, but change it up entirely,
Yeah.
then I would totally be on board with it. If he came to me about it, like if I'm at Warner Brothers, then I'd
It's
be
kinda
like,
crazy how it's like DCEU, MCU, one guy, and if he did come back, you know?
well, there are a couple of those too.
Yeah.
Like Lawrence Fishburne did that too,
Yeah. Yeah.
and who else? Zachary Levi just
Yep.
did that because he's Shazam, and he was the recently deceased one of the brothers three from Thor.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, like I would buy it at that point. Like I would not be shocked to see him, despite how much he makes fun of Green Lantern. I feel like if he loves Green Lantern, this is all just hearsay. Like, I have no idea how he feels about Green Lantern as a comic book character. Like we know he loves Deadpool. If he feels the same about Green Lantern in that way, I don't think it's very crazy for him to come back and actually revisit the character.
No.
I would actually buy it at that point if we found out he was going to be doing it. It would actually kind of make sense, like because if you're going to do it, it's kind of like most things. Like I was kind of getting to the point with Batman Beyond bringing back Keaton to do it. You got a well-known name there. Keaton is an established Batman.
Yeah.
Like you bring back Ryan Reynolds to play Green Lantern, he's technically speaking an established Green Lantern. Not to mention if he comes back, that means we could get Mark Strong back as Sinestro,
Which would be great.
which that in and of itself it would be great. In
Yeah.
all honesty, the way they ended that movie, man, I was really excited to see him actually be Sinestro, and like he was great as Sinestro. So
Oh, yeah.
part of me hopes that like this actually happens, not because of this though. Because when it comes down to it, I can't really play devil's advocate and say like I don't see any reason why he would be in the Snyder Cut. It makes absolutely no sense,
It doesn't.
like 0 sense. Like because you just have to do too much to get him in there. A small cameo in the Snyder Cut, it doesn't make any sense. Like it just literally, unless they like roped it in as a Flashpoint thing, like when Flash did the whole time travel thing in BVS and like goes to Bruce and he's like, "I'm too soon. Lois is the key." Whatever, like
Yeah.
that thing. Like if they did something like that, sure, I guess it could work, but I don't really see any point.
That was a weird scene.
Yeah, I mean, like so that's why like if Flash is involved, then maybe it works. Him showing up in the Snyder Cut for like any sort of reason, I don't really think makes sense at all for any Green Lantern to be there unless it's in that flashback scene where they're fighting the first invasion of Apocalypse's forces. But that was thousands of years before Hal Jordan existed, so it wouldn't make any sense for him to be there. So I just don't know where you would put him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. That being said, would you like to see him come back? Kind of like let's say if they were going to make a new Green Lantern movie, do you think they should bring him back, or they should just move on because it was just misunderstood and
Well, I mean, look at the Snyder Cut. Justice League was misunderstood, and they're bringing that back. It's kind of like a do-over, like you said. But I think, I don't know. That's difficult to say. I thought I like Ryan Reynolds as an actor, so sure, yeah. But
yeah,
I'd be more excited for Deadpool 3 than I ever would be for like him as a Green Lantern appearance or anything like that.
right. I mean that's the thing. Like kind of like we were saying with Margot Robbie. Like anything with Margot Robbie, I'll be interested in. Anything with Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah.
I'll be interested in.
Oh, for sure.
So I mean, if they were to announce he was going to come back and play Hal Jordan again, I would not be opposed to it in
Yeah,
any
it's
way.
like it wouldn't disappoint
Like,
me.
and just like like I don't think he is. He's not the how Hugh Jackman to a lot of people is Wolverine. And
Yeah,
to
yeah.
us, Henry Cavill is Superman.
It's not like that with Green Lantern.
It's not like
You
Ryan
don't have that
Reynolds
same
is
attachment.
Ryan Reynolds is not Hal Jordan to me.
No.
So, like, I could really
He's
care
Deadpool to
less.
me.
Like, it'd be fine if he came back to play Green Lantern and get, like, a do-over on it, and, like, if he could make it the movie he kind of would want it to
Well,
be, then I'd be cool with it.
here's
If not, I'm still cool with it.
here's what I was gonna say too. At this point, I feel like Ryan Reynolds has grown a lot as an actor since that movie came out.
Yeah.
They know what went wrong with Green Lantern. They know the mistakes they made, and if they did bring it back, I think they would be much more likely to avoid those mistakes and make it
Yeah.
a better film. So
No, absolutely, and that's where it comes down to too, like, if he were to do it, I feel like the only way he'd wanna do it is if he had a similar level of creative control that he has with Deadpool.
yeah, or
Because
he
oth
really liked the script or
Yeah,
something.
because otherwise, like, I don't see anything in it for him to do it.
No,
Like, because it's just like we said, like,
if anything, it'd be a huge risk for him to take.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'd be a risk because it's not like honestly, it's like a black sheep of a movie, but it's
Yeah.
not like it's like I said, it's not a dumpster fire. It's
No,
just kind of
it's not
situation.
horrible.
Yeah, it's just a situation where like Woody he gets nothing out of it either way.
Yeah,
Like it's not like Hugh Jackman coming into a Deadpool movie for a Wolverine cameo. That everybody wins in that situation.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like everyone gets to have fun with that. With like everyone loves Hugh Jackman, everyone loves Deadpool, everyone loves the relationship Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have together off screen. Like so like there's merit to it. Like you understand why that would happen. Ryan Reynolds hasn't been Hal Jordan in years in the movie, like, no one cares about it. No one,
Yeah.
like, hates Ryan Reynolds for doing it. It's just it's a black sheep. Like, no one, like, hates it. Everyone just knows it was kind of a crappy movie.
yeah.
But no one gave Ryan Reynolds shit for, like it didn't ruin his career kinda movie.
No,
You
not
know
at
what I
all.
mean? It's just the same it's he's not attached to that role, at least in the public's eye. No one looks at him and sees Green Lantern. Like, he is beyond that point. Even when that movie came out, I don't think a lot of people looked at him and thought Hal Jordan. Like,
No.
I think when that movie first came out and he was announced to be playing Hal Jordan, I always thought he would have made a better Barry Allen. Just
Yeah.
with how, like, like Wally West, like, how quippy he was. Like, I always thought he would have been a really good Flash. But, I mean, he worked for Hal Jordan too. Like, he was fine in the role. But
I always thought Hal Jordan was more of like a serious kind of.
they've kinda gone, like, back and forth with him.
Yeah.
Like, lately in, like, the New 52 and stuff, he is a little bit more quippy, but, like, not to the extent of Deadpool quippy.
Yeah.
Just kinda, like, more like cocky jock football player quippy.
Sure.
You know, not in, like, a douchey way,
No, but
but
I
kind of in a douchey way,
yeah,
you
I
know
know
what I
what you
mean?
mean.
But, but yeah, that's the thing, like, it's mainly just that I don't think but why would you come back and do it unless you're gonna get more out of it than a fucking cameo? It just doesn't make for someone like Ryan Reynolds, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Like, that's it. I'd like to see him come back, but whatever. Like, but let's move on to the next rumor because we got two more. One's not as shocking as the other. Is Jeffrey Dean Morgan might appear as Thomas Wayne in the Batman, or not the Batman, but the Flashpoint movie. Okay, and I touched on this a little bit a couple days ago when the news dropped that Keaton was going to be coming back as Batman, as Bruce Wayne in the Flashpoint. Now, and I made a point to where, and like a lot of people were saying, like, or theorizing that Keaton was going to be coming back to play Thomas Wayne for whatever reason. And I don't know why anybody thought that because it just in general doesn't make a whole lot of sense because while it'd be neat, I guess, for him to come back and play Thomas Wayne now because he's older, he was already Bruce Wayne, so it really wouldn't make people always talk about, like we were saying before, confusing the audience. That would be confusing.
Oh yeah.
You're bringing literally somebody back who played a version of Batman to come play a new version of Batman.
Yeah,
Like,
that would be
yeah,
weird.
that's confusing, okay? Like, so it didn't really I don't know why anybody thought Keaton would come back to play Thomas Wayne. Although that would kind of like I was saying before, that is more compelling, you know, like for an actor, like for because like why is Keaton coming back just to do something he already did? So I mean, him coming back to play Thomas Wayne would at least be interesting. But
Yeah.
it's since been confirmed that he is going to be playing Bruce Wayne, a continuation of 1989's Batman and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the rumor though here is that broke at the same time essentially was that Jeffrey Dean Morgan may be reprising his role as Thomas Wayne as seen in Batman versus Superman in the Flashpoint movie as well, which is not a stretch in any way, shape, or form because, like I said, he already played Thomas Wayne in that exact same continuity, being Ezra Miller's Flash, making his first appearance in BVS, and Thomas Wayne, or no, Jeffrey Dean Morgan making his appearance as Thomas Wayne in BVS as well. And as we all know, the Flashpoint story, the traditional Flashpoint story, is contingent and focuses on the character of Thomas Wayne. And now, this one, this rumor, is a lot more, not necessarily from a credible source by any means that, like, this is happening for sure by any means, but there is, like, some already kinda, I don't know, reason to believe this could happen anyway because, like, this article goes and shows, previous quotes from Jeffrey Dean Morgan and, Zack Snyder and everything where they already had this discussion before back when he got hired to play Thomas Wayne in BVS. Zach and Jeffrey Dean Morgan had the conversation about, the Thomas Wayne character actually is, the Batman and Flashpoint, and there was already a potential for you to be able to play the role of Thomas Wayne's Batman, if a Flashpoint thing were to occur. And like they had that discussion in the past already. That's why this one almost feels like a spaghetti on the wall kind of rumor to where it's probably going to be true anyway, so we might as well say it's a rumor and breaking news
Yeah.
kind of thing. But Rick, if the Flashpoint movie comes out, would you? They've already kind of said that it's not going to be a traditional Flashpoint, and now that we have the news with Michael Keaton going to be potentially, if the deal gets signed, will be a part of it as the Bruce Wayne Batman from that world. Do you think there's room for two different type of Batman in that one Flashpoint movie? Or do you think that's going to be a little bit too much?
Right. I don't know. I mean, that might just be a little confusing. And, not everybody's going to be as familiar with Flashpoint as they would be like the typical Batman story. So it might leave some people that aren't, hardcore fans that have seen or heard about that or anything. It just may be confusing to them. Um, I never really knew much about Flashpoint Batman. I was reading there when we were pulling that up too that Bruce is the one that dies in the alley. Martha has a mental breakdown and becomes the Joker, which is crazy to me. And
Oh
then
yeah.
Thomas Wayne becomes the gun wielding Batman.
Mhm.
So it's a totally different version of the story that you're like used to hearing or anything. And it's just, I'd have to see it, but it sounds interesting.
No, yeah. The traditional Flashpoint story is a great story in itself. Like that comic run, and then they made an animated movie of it that was pretty faithful to the
The
comic
Martha
run.
Wayne Joker thing is just, that's kind of
It is
strange.
kind of weird, honestly. Like I didn't really care for I don't care for that aspect of it, but the idea of Bruce Wayne dying in the alley and then Thomas Wayne becoming Batman, I think that is a cool concept.
That is, yeah.
And it's also cool that like, the Joker thing is it's having it connected in that fashion with like the Bat family and even in an alternate timeline is just that alley is connected to them like anywhere they go and like you
Yeah.
change one thing and Batman still exists and Joker still exists in some capacity. So I mean, I don't know, it's poetic if you will. And
Indeed. Indeed.
like it is what it is. Like but it is a great story because like I touched on it before, but like in Flashpoint, like all that stuff's going on. Yeah, like you get Thomas Wayne Batman, and he's like a brutal Batman. He kills people. He uses guns, and he's like he lost. Imagine a guy who lost his kid and is taking that shit out on the world.
Oh gosh,
Like
yeah. It'd be incredibly
not just
violent.
on the world, but like on the bad guys, right? Like that's who
Some
he is.
vengeance right there.
Yeah, he's pretty much the Punisher in a bat suit,
Really?
and
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it is. But I mean, the other cool thing with traditional Flashpoint is like the uh the Atlanteans and like the Amazons are at war, and there's this big old thing, and like it's honestly a crazy story. If you haven't seen it or read it, you should read it or go watch the animated movie about it because it is pretty good. It's really good. But like I said before, the fact that I don't know how much credence this really has to it because I mean I don't know where they're going with Flashpoint. It's like Andy Muschietti, the director, has already said it's going to be a different kind of Flashpoint. and then with Michael Keaton coming back, I feel like with Michael Keaton coming back, it lessens the chances of Thomas Wayne, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Thomas Wayne, making an appearance at all because
Yeah.
like you said, not everyone's familiar with Flashpoint, as cool and great of a story as it is. And if they're gonna already be bringing in like another Batman, especially a Batman everybody knows, in Michael Keaton,
Yeah.
I don't know how much room there is for another Batman. And like we said at the beginning of the show, at what point does it become a Batman Elseworlds movie and not a Flashpoint movie at that point?
Yeah, yeah. It's
You know?
almost too Batman at this point.
Yeah, and it's like, so is
take it
Ben
away.
Affleck gonna stop by too?
Yeah,
Like, you
exactly.
know what I mean? This
Christian Bale.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, which I don't know. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see. I would love to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan come back to play Thomas Wayne
Sure.
in the Flashpoint movie, but
Doesn't mean he has to be Batman.
well, no, he
We
would
we
if they were gonna do Flashpoint, he
Ye
would.
yeah, he would.
So, I mean, and then otherwise, Thomas Wayne's dead in the other world, so he would have
True,
to
true.
play but I would love to see that happen, but like I said, I don't know how likely that is at this point. It may have been their plan before, but if they're getting Keaton in, I don't know. If Keaton comes in, I feel like the chances are kind of diminished.
Sure.
You could still make it work, but I don't know. I doubt they're going to be going the whole Flashpoint story because if they were to do the true Flashpoint story, like I said, the Atlanteans and the Amazons are like the central figures of the movie because they're like Aquaman is at war with Wonder Woman essentially. So you're going to have Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot in that movie,
Yeah.
and like at that point, it's like whereas if they're just gonna do a traditional Flashpoint, then yeah, that would make sense, but if you're gonna all of a sudden throw in Michael Keaton's 1989 Batman, they're obviously going a different direction.
Yeah.
Like, so and which they've said, we'll just kinda have to wait and see how much, of a different direction they're actually gonna be going at this point. So, we'll see. Our last rumor here, Rick, is probably I think the least likely to happen. Like, I'd probably say Thomas Wayne coming back is probably more likely than this.
Was here.
It is
Oh.
the Ben Affleck Batman, supposedly, there is rumored to be coming back with Jared Leto's Joker and Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke for HBO Max. Essentially, there's rumored they're going to be making a Ben Affleck's, I guess, going to make the movie he was initially going to make before, but supposedly for HBO Max. And now, like I said, this is probably the one that I don't see happening at all. I would definitely see Ryan Reynolds coming back as Hal Jordan in some capacity before I
Yeah.
would see this happening. Now, does that mean that's what I want to happen? No. I would much rather have a Ben Affleck Batman movie than anything else on this rumor mill list, honestly. I'd rather have Ben Affleck's Batman over the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, honestly.
Mhm.
Because Ben Affleck was my favorite Batman. I thought it was great. Like, they did not do him justice in Justice League.
No. Didn't
Pun
do him
intended.
justice.
Yeah, they did not do him justice in that movie. They completely you could tell it was from the reshoots more than anything, but, like, they completely changed the character from what he wasn't just, a short 18 months ago or whatever in BVS, like, whenever that happened, year time-wise, what they just completely changed him. But Ben Affleck, as I've said, was my favorite. So I'd rather if this was true, this would be the one I'd be most excited about. You kinda said before, though, if they do this, so the Joker should have some tattoo removals, right?
Yeah, yeah. Go get some
Yeah.
laser work done.
Yeah, because I think,
Just my opinion.
no, I agree. Because that's the thing. When it comes to Jared Leto's Joker, it's a hot button issue. It's not divisive at all. Um, I didn't mind the performance. I thought what he did in the movie as Joker was fine.
Sure.
I thought it was an interesting take. It was a different take, and it was a unique take, right? It was he wasn't, and every Joker for that matter has been their very own like Jack Nicholson's Joker was nothing like Jared Leto's Joker,
Yeah,
and they've
yeah.
all been like that. So I appreciated the originality.
Yeah.
I didn't like the look of the Joker though. Like I did not like his. I didn't like the way he looked. I didn't like the tattoos.
Yeah, the look was probably the worst part.
I did like you could have gave him the grill because like the backstory behind
That
the
makes
grill is
sense.
fine, but
Yeah.
at the same time, without context, is it fine? Because this looks like he's wearing a grill.
It does.
So I mean, like when you know, like, oh, the metal teeth are there because Batman knocked them all out. Okay, well that's a cool story, but it's not like that was addressed in the movie. Like I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't think it
Uh,
was either.
but
It makes sense when you hear about it, but yeah, if they're not gonna
yeah,
explain it, then you've just got, like, gangster Joker.
yeah, exactly. Which that's I like. That's the thing. I liked the performance of it, and I liked him being just kind of like more. I don't know, almost like a drug lord kind of gangster Joker dude. Like I was fine with it. Like that was all fine.
That's, like, what he was, yeah.
Yeah, and he was, like, creepy. Like, I told you before, like, that scene where he gets on that dude's lap, and, like, it
Very
was weird,
unsettling.
man. Yeah, like, it was unsettling. Like, I wouldn't wanna be on the receiving end of that Joker at all. And,
No.
like, so, I mean, like, I liked the performance and everything. It was fine. It just the movie wasn't executed properly.
No,
And,
yeah.
like, I would like the look to be changed up a bit. That being said, Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke, though,
Oh,
like, talk about an appearance that worked,
dude,
alright?
that perfect
Dude,
casting.
it was perfect casting, the suit was amazing, it looked just like the, Arkham Origins
That could have been a
Death
good movie in itself, like,
exactly, and that's, like, what Ben Affleck's Batman movie was gonna be, it was gonna have Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke in it.
they should have done that.
So, I mean, and I don't know if the Joker was ever gonna be a part of it, but, I mean, it's a Batman movie, and like we've said before, if you have a Batman movie, it kinda goes hand in hand that you're gonna have a Joker in there at some point in time.
Well,
Like,
Deathstroke's, like, my favorite DC villain too, like, if you wanna call him, like, a
he's a
villain.
great villain.
Yeah, he's
Like,
I've always thought he was super cool.
yeah, he's great. And, like, I don't know, like, I would pay to see Ben Affleck come back as Batman in anything. Like,
Yeah.
I would be down to see it. I know it's sacrilegious to say that he is my favorite Batman, but like I said before, no one else really captured the fact that Bruce Wayne died in that alley and Batman was born. Like,
Yeah.
no one else got that point across as well as Ben Affleck's Batman did. And kinda like Henry, and, like, he hasn't had his fair shot of being Superman and, like, his
Yeah.
own, like, whole Superman movie. Because Man of Steel was almost like a coming of age Superman movie because he was finding out who he was,
Yeah.
and then he dies in the next one, and it's BVS was pretty much a Batman movie, but at the same time, it wasn't a Batman movie because it was focused on Superman in some capacity. So, like, I feel Ben got the same kind of, not necessarily unfair treatment by any means, but just like kind of the short end of the stick when it comes to actually being able to fully portray that character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like he was writing, directing, and going to be starring in that Batman movie, and
He didn't get to use it to his full potential.
he didn't get to do it. And like I would do anything to see that movie. Like that, of all the movies that haven't happened and won't happen more than likely, like that's one of the big ones. Those movies that you hear all the time about, like, oh, this is so, like, Why the Last Man was supposed to have a movie 10 years ago with Shia LaBeouf attached to it.
Yeah.
That never happened. Like, there's tons of movies, tons of projects that just never happen, and this one's probably the most disappointing one to me, just because not only is it more than likely never going to happen. Sorry for whoever wrote this article and has this quote unquote scoop. I'm not buying it because Ben Affleck is like, he's out, dude. He's been out. Like, he was out before Comic-Con when he said he was still in. Like, he was already out. They were already making the cast. Like, Robert Pattinson knew he was Batman when he started filming Tenet, and like, I think at that point in time, Ben Affleck was still exclaiming he was being Batman just to appease. Like, he was being a good soldier. He wasn't gonna, like, when he was done with Batman before Justice League came out.
Yeah.
Like, he was done, but he was going on all the marketing and press tours and stuff, and he had to, when he was asked about the rumors of him leaving, he said no, because that's what you do. You don't want the story to be about him not playing Batman when you're promoting Justice League, where Batman is pretty much the main character of the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, he's been out since then, man, and, like, he had to go through all the personal stuff he went through, and, like, I just don't feel like, it pains me to say it, but I don't think this is happening at all, as much as I would love it to happen. So, what do you think? You think over under 30% chance we'll see this this story, this be real.
I'd say like under 30.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's just doesn't seem like
I'm with
something
you.
that there's too many like
Okay.
rumors, obviously the rumor mill. That
Mhm.
it's just at what point can you separate fact from fiction? Just people making up stuff and it's like, ooh, this may happen. I
That's the
don't know.
thing, and this one's almost like kinda like I was saying with the Green Lantern thing, like, where's the logic behind it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because like, I don't know, what does Ben Affleck get I guess Ben Affleck would have more to get out of this than, I guess, the Ryan Reynolds thing, but in all honesty, just because he already wrote that script. Like,
Yeah.
he put a lot of time and fucking effort into that movie already, like, so and he went through all he went through the costume design and shit for Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Like that was like stuff that was gonna be in his movie. Because I don't know if you remember, we got our first tease of Deathstroke, of Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke, from Ben Affleck on his Twitter when he
Yeah.
was producing and, like, writing and trying to do pre-production essentially on his Batman movie. He dropped the first footage of Deathstroke, like,
And it looked
so
awesome.
yeah, so, like, that shit was all him, and, like, I would love for it to happen. Like, if they could convince him to come back and do it, I'll fucking be there with bells on, dude. Like, hell yeah. I don't think it's gonna
Hell yeah.
happen. And, like, I think honestly, the fact that the story involved, Jared Leto's Joker is probably what makes me think it's, like, less likely to
It's a little
happen.
more far fetched. Yeah.
Yeah. As much as, like I said, yeah, Joker goes hand in hand with Batman, I don't know if there was never any confirmation or any even rumor about Ben's movie featuring the Joker.
No. Yeah. I
Like,
never heard anything about that.
there was never anything like that. Now, there was, like, rumors about it being, like, very, like he would have to go to Arkham for some purpose, right? It kind
Yeah.
what it seemed like to me, what it was going to be was gonna be a lot like the Arkham Origins game where, like, I don't know if you played that, but, like, it was like Christmas and, all the assassins, like, all these people were hired to kill Batman on Christmas Day, right? And Deathstroke was one of them, essentially. And, if I remember correctly, he was, like, the main boss, he was
Yeah.
the final one that comes after him. And, I kinda got that vibe from it, especially with the look of Deathstroke. It made it feel like that's kind of the direction it was gonna go, just having someone hired Deathstroke to go fucking kill him. But then we
Yeah.
find out in the end of Justice League, that person would have been Lex Luthor more than anything, because like,
Yeah.
he even says, like, that's Deathstroke meets up with him, and if you remember, it would have actually coattailed right into this Ben Affleck Batman movie nicely because, uh of the very end scene of BVS where Batman shows up in Jared Leto, or not Jared Leto, in, Lex Luthor's cell and threatens him.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, "Wherever you do, whatever you do, I'm watching you, whatever." Punches the fucking wall. So, like, it would have made a lot more sense for Lex Luthor to be the person to hire Deathstroke and send him after Batman because of that scene and the fact that at the end of Justice League, Deathstroke wasn't meeting up with Joker, he was meeting up with Lex Luthor. So it would have actually coattailed real nicely, and it would have flowed real fucking good into, Ben's movie, but alas, I don't think it's gonna happen,
Yeah. I don't think
but
it will either.
yeah.